You faced a similar decision after your first year at Washington, right? Because that's when Pete Carroll left here to go to the Seahawks. And I don't know how hard SC came after you, where they offered you or where you thought you might get it, but you'd only been at Washington for a year. How close did you come either to coming here or wanting to come here?
I wasn't close at all. The time wasn't right. I had made a commitment to the University of Washington to be their head coach. I'd made a commitment to myself that I was going to turn an 0-12 program around. And in 1 year, I learned a lot about myself as a head coach, that I still had a lot to learn, that I can continue to improve, and I was just getting started. And I'm happy that I didn't take the job then, because I think 4 years later, even after that now, that 5 years at the University of Washington, I'm leaving that program knowing it's in a much better place today than it would have been if I had left after the 1 year. And I know they're in great hands now, and I'm happy for them and the successes that they potentially could have this fall. But that wouldn't have been right if I would have left after that first year.
Well, I know you're a young guy, media savvy guy, so I'm sure it doesn't surprise you to hear that there's nothing the media likes better than two high-profile coaches sniping at each other in the press. So I want to thank you for your comments last year accusing Stanford of faking injuries. You're trying to speed it up. Your quote was, "I guess that's how we play here at Stanford." And David Shaw went out there and roasted you pretty good. You guys ever hug it out? I know there was a phone call, but
yeah,
we've
actually spent quite a bit of time together.
Oh, darn! Come on.
We
need a good feud here.
We were on a vacation together in Hawaii. I have a great deal of respect for David and the job that he's done at Stanford. Obviously, Jim got it going, and David's done a tremendous job of keeping that going. We're both highly competitive individuals, which is great, and that's fine. And as I said, after all of that, two reasonable people can agree to disagree, and we didn't see eye to eye on the issue. We've moved on. It won't be the last time, I'm sure, that we get fired up at each other, and I hope this rivalry goes on for a long, long time. But when the game's done, we're off the field, we step away, our wives are together, and we're together. David and I have a very good relationship.
But you stand by what you said. You're not recanting your observation.
No, and he knows exactly how I stand, and I know how he stands, obviously.
One name I haven't mentioned, I do want to ask you about, Steve, is Norm Chow. As important a figure in your professional life probably as anybody,
No doubt.
was your offensive coordinator at BYU. He was an assistant here at USC, and he's the one who recommended to Pete Carroll that he hire you when you were working at El Camino. So the story goes, and you tell me what's incorrect, if any of this is incorrect, that when you left to go to the Raiders, Norm was here, and he left under not the best of circumstances, and you came here to replace him. And since then, you guys basically haven't spoken, that there's been either no communication or a falling out. Have you spoken? Is that still
We have
not
not.
repaired?
Unfortunately, we have not. And, it's hard for me because when you reflect on your career and you play for somebody, you have great moments as a player, you're a young coach and you're learning the craft, you're learning the trade of how to operate in this profession and the respect that Norm has in our profession, that we haven't. And I'm hopeful that we will someday. For a variety of reasons, things happened. But I always keep trying to wish him the best of luck before every season, and somewhere in here it'll come full circle, and we'll get back into it. This is too small of a community in the coaching circle to where you don't. So I wish we had a better relationship today than we do have, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to keep trying.
I was going to say, maybe not even my place to say this, but I mean, did you ever tried picking up the phone and calling them?
Yeah, it's odd. It's just one of those unique ones, And like I said, as you go through it, and Norm has had a great deal of success, I'm happy for him now that he's become a head coach, one that he's longed to become for quite some time, and hope he has tremendous success this fall with Hawaii.